HCAM News is supported by our viewers and by Hopkinton Drug, located in this historic New England town since 1954. They are a multifaceted store dedicated to providing clients with an array of healthcare options.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of HCAM News. I'm HCAM News Director Tom Nappy. On today's edition of HCAM News, we talked with Hillers Girls varsity soccer coach Tom Skiba. We have the latest Hiller sports report, and Bobby Gibb was recognized prior to the Boston Marathon. But first, the annual Art on the Trail at Center Trail opened up. Here's a look. The Hopkinton Cultural Council hosted their annual Art on the Trail exhibit. This year, it is dedicated to the 125th Boston Marathon and entitled A Walk to Inspire. The display began on October 7th and ends on the 17th, and features artwork submitted by local artists throughout the 1.1-mile trail. The display kicked off with a brief ceremony and some of the artists on the scene to talk about their work.
Hi. Welcome to Art on the Trail. We have tons of people to thank, which Nina and Darlene will do momentarily, but we thank them because they are the co-chairs of this whole project. So great job, Darlene and Nina. Pulling this off together. My name is Alana Cassidy. I'm the chair of the Hopkinton Cultural Council. Very proud to be here today. Just a little bit about what the Hopkinton Cultural Council does, because we have a very important deadline coming up, and I want everyone to know, especially all the artists here. We receive grant funding from the Massachusetts Cultural Council to promote excellence, access, education, and diversity in the arts, sciences, and humanities to improve our community, economics, and quality of life. We prioritize supporting local artists, like all of you, as well as artists that reflect diverse cultures. I'm also an occupational therapist, and I actually work outdoors. I use equine movement and nature as my treatment tool, and it makes me so proud to see art and nature being so accessible to all those with many different abilities, many different needs. Now, people that might not normally get to be able to walk in a museum, or might not go to Boston to travel to a museum, they can have this so accessible. And I think what's really great about Art on the Trail is it brings together so many pieces of our community.
I want to point out to what Ilana said. If there is one piece that you should not miss, and that talks about the mental health of what the trail provides. If all else fails, there is hope on the trail. And please, that's I think in this COVID time, as we come out of it, that is one thing that really resonates with me, and I hope everyone enjoys it. And thank you to everyone that participated, the artists, the supporters, the people that came to hang it, and everyone that was part of this process. So thank you.
I'm going to say you can't miss Owen's statue on the trail. There's a mother and daughter who have a total of 3 paintings here. Nia and Kathy, are you guys here?
I just saw them.
Okay, so they're here. And which is kind of cool. They have just moved to Hopkinton, and they were one of the first ones to submit. This was a juried art show. There's about close to 20 pieces that are juried in, and then some pieces that like Michael Alfano's, which is a renowned piece from the running wheel that's been at home at the HCA for probably about 10 years. And then there's a statue from Spain. And then we just laminated a couple prints that are, one is Nancy Bailey's iconic from the 100th, and Mary Holden, who's a local artist, we laminated her recent piece, which is a montage to Hopkinton. You'll see artists that are for amateurs or some things that are just kind of when you hit the entering Brookline sign that Barbara Webster's put up, you know it's time to turn around and head back to Hopkinton. Enjoy, and you'll see it all down there.
If you want to walk the trail and check out some of the great artwork, parking is available in the Respite Center parking lot on the left side of Claflin Place, just off of Main Street. For more information about art on the trail, head over to hcam.tv.
Yeah, this is the library, right?
That's the Hopkinton. Oh, that's the old one. Before
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
renovated.
yeah. Right, and then this is Ashland Clock Tower. That's Natick Church on the, it's right on the Common. That's the train station in Framingham.
Yeah,
This is like a dorm in Wellesley. That's Coolidge Corner. That's BC, and that's Fenway.
Isn't that awesome? Awesome. Nice idea. Love it.
The first woman to ever run the Boston Marathon, Bobby Gibb, was recognized. Here's a look. The 26.2 Foundation, along with the Hopkinton Center for the Arts, Marty's Fine Wines, and Startline Brewing, hosted a ceremony to unveil a sculpture of Boston Marathon legend Bobby Gibb.
I first learned of Bobby's story leading up to the days of my first Boston Marathon in 2016, as the Boston Athletic Association celebrated the 50th year anniversary of Bobby's historic run. She served as the Grand Marshal that year and was officially recognized as the winner of the 1966, 67, and 68 Boston Marathon. I was struck not only by her incredibly inspiring story, but by the sharp contrast of the life that faced her and other women only 50 years ago. So much has changed in a single lifetime, but also because of that singular act of courage and love.
Finally, I want to say that Bobby was a damn fast runner. She ran 3:21 in her first Boston Marathon. She beat about 3/4 of the men who were in the race that day. She didn't do it because she was trying to beat men or to make a statement about how fast she could run. She did it because she was trying to make a statement about freedom and being liberated from societal chains that held you back, and what happens when people are given the opportunity to express themselves fully, as she has done in so many ways.
It is indeed an honor and a privilege to participate in this momentous and, dare I say, long overdue recognition of Roberta Bobby Gibb. And we're recognizing her not only for the bravery that she demonstrated when she bounded out of the bushes here in Hopkinton on that fateful Patriots' Day 55 years ago to become the first woman ever to run the Boston Marathon in its then 70-year existence. In so doing, she unwittingly initiated the acceptance and the advancement of women's participation in the Boston Marathon in particular, but also in the global sport of running in general, and more broadly, gender equality in all aspects of our society across the country and arguably around the world.
I didn't understand the marathon when I was actually Andy Burfoot's roommate when he won Boston. But I didn't understand the marathon. It wasn't on TV. I was a cross-country runner or running them 2 mile or something, but it wasn't until I moved to Boston that I saw what the marathon is. And I think that's coverage is so important. And I think tonight we're finally seeing, the woman who really did it. And I think that is key. And congratulations.
Bobby, in another era, might have been recognized as a Renaissance woman. An intellectual with degrees in philosophy, math, law, studies in neurological diseases like ALS. Also, she's a sculptor and an athlete. I would say that qualifies her as a Renaissance woman.
I remember one woman, I don't know if she was in New York or New Jersey, but she said when she went out to train, to do her training runs, the police picked her up every time and took her home. because they thought she was crazy. So finally she just went along with it, and then she would go out and run, or go out the back door and start running again. But the challenges were incredible, and I give you all credit in the world for being one of the first to take it up.
Bobby is so unique and such a piece of our history at the Boston Athletic Association that if you were to come to the building in Boston where our offices are, there is a massive mural on the wall, floor to ceiling, and from here to the yet to be unveiled sculpture over there, that shows this kid with the blonde hair running to the finish line for the first time. First time for her, first time for women. The word unique fits. People use it a lot. So-and-so is unique, such and such is unique. But really, if you look at what the word means, it means that it's something or somebody that is just plain unlike any other.
All humans may join in. She crossed the country in her van, up and down Rockies she ran. Back in Boston she'd seen the race that sealed her fate. Go, girl, go, show them all what a woman can do. Heed the call.
We're going to take a quick time out. A whole lot more HCAM news ahead. Stay tuned. HCAM programming is supported by our viewers. Thank you. And by Phipps Insurance Agency, representing companies such as MapFree Insurance. Their family-owned independent agency is deeply rooted in the communities they serve and offer time-tested insurance products to fit individual needs. Since 1950, Phipps Insurance specializes in home, auto, business, condo, and renters insurance. Welcome back to HCAM News. Well, fall sports is nearing the end of the regular season, just a few weeks left, and we've had a whole lot of Hiller soccer and girls volleyball, among other sports on HCAM. Here's a look at the latest highlights. On Wednesday, October 6th, undefeated Hiller girls volleyball took on Millis. Steve Sweetapple and Matt Clancy on the call.
Let's see if Annabelle is serving like she did last game.
Yeah.
Those were bullets.
Another good one.
Set point. Connors handles that. They go outside. And that's it. Hillers take the second set, 25-9.
The Hillers swept through Millis 3-0. Hillers then took on Medway the following Friday on the road and captured a sweep victory. The Hillers now stand at 13 wins and no losses on the season, and they have earned sweeps in 11 of 13 of their victories. Hiller boys cross country stayed perfect with a 19-43 victory over Westwood last Wednesday. They are 4-0 on the season. Hiller girls cross country improved to 3-1 last Wednesday with a 15-50 win over Westwood. On Thursday, October 7th, 7-2-1, Hiller boys soccer hosted Nipmuc under the lights. Both teams exchanged goals in the first half.
Airs it. And there's a shot, and it's deflected. A secondary shot, that is in. Golombuski had the initial shot. And then it was deflected by a defender out of the net. And then it was put in. And I believe that was Andrew Gahn who got the score. 1-0 Hillers. Hillers, they have had it in Nipmuc's attack zone a lot of this half, and that's a header in. And this game is tied.
1-1 at the half, but the Hillers added another pair of goals in the second half.
Along the far side. Hillers working their way back in. Golombuski sends it out, and that is sent in. I believe that might have been deflected in by a Nipmuc warrior. Sent out in front. Bassington trying to work his way in. Takes the shot, loose ball, and it's booted in by Schnorr! Owen Schnorr makes it a 3-1 game.
Hopkinton took the win 3-1 and picked up their 8th victory of the season. The following day, October 8th, Hiller boys soccer hosted Millis. It was a scoreless game heading into the second half.
Bassington over to Balobreski, sends it up. Pass over by Schnorr, Farrell approaching. Into the box, takes the shot, and it's put in!
Sean Golombuski scores off of a nice cross from Pierce Farrell.
Shaw sends it up. There's a boot by Schnorr, and then it's put in by Farrell off the deflection.
2 goals for the Hillers in the half, and they took the 2-0 shutout victory over Millis to improve to 9-2-1 and get within 1 point of clinching a playoff spot. Also last Friday, Hiller Unified Basketball hit the courts for the first time of the season. They fell to Medway 88-59, but a good time was had by all. Hiller football fell to Norwood last Friday night in a road game 38-16. Hopkinton football now stands at 1-4 on the season. Hiller boys soccer were on the road this past Tuesday and captured a 3-2 victory over Medway. With the win, Hopkinton improved to 10-2-1 on the season and officially clinched a playoff spot. The 8-4-0 Hiller girls soccer team hosted Medway on Tuesday, and just under 6 minutes in, this happened.
Recupero approaching along the end line, and it's pushed towards the net, and that's going to be put in.
Freshman Madison Recupero nets a goal, and she did it again in the second half.
Working up the far side. There's a shot, and Recupero's there, she puts it in! Sent over by Perlov, and Recupero finishes to make it 2-0. Her second goal of the game.
Recupero nets 2 goals, and Hopkinton hangs on
for the 2-1 victory over a good Medway team. The Hillers improved to 9-4-0 on the season and are just another win away from clinching a playoff spot. Hillers of the month include girls soccer star Georgina Clark. In a month shortened by injury, Georgina has netted 13 goals and racked up 3 assists. In just 6 games, she recorded 29 shots with an amazing 83% of shots on target. Chase Dixon, also a Hiller of the month. Chase has become a team leader on the cross-country team and is known for getting the team hyped up for their practices and competitions. Congratulations, Georgina and Chase, on a job well done. We recently talked with Hiller Girls Varsity soccer coach Tom Skiba. Here's a look. Hello, everybody. We are here with Hopkinton Hillers Girls Varsity soccer coach Tom Skiba. Coach, how are you?
Good. How are you, Tom?
Good. Can't complain. The soccer teams are doing great, both the boys and the girls. And the girls continuing to pick up some big wins, even though they're missing one of the big superstars of the team, Georgina Clark. How's she doing? How's the ankle?
She's on the road to recovery. She actually has an appointment today. So we're hopeful that she gets good news out of that.
Absolutely. Hopefully she'll be back very soon. Certainly a lot of fun to watch. The team's still playing very good without her, picking up some big wins. And it seems like there's a lot of versatility on this year's team. Can you just talk about the versatility you have this year?
Yeah, it's really been great to see. We've had a lot of players step up. Overall through the year, we've had 10 girls score on different occasions. And we've also had 8 players contribute in the assist category as well. So that's been fantastic to be able to get that diversity. We've been working on it hard during the practice sessions, and it's really starting to come through in the results and the balance that we're having as an attacking team.
And a lot of great young players on this year's team between Georgina Clark, Madison Recupero, Nina, a lot of great youth on this year's team. Did you know what you had with this year's squad, especially when you look at a player like Georgina Clark, who's one of the top scorers in the TVL and maybe even the state?
You get a good sense of it through the preseason. I'm aware of the players' reputations coming in, but for the vast majority of them, I have not seen them play either as individuals, and I certainly haven't seen them play and integrate with their teammates. And that's probably the biggest thing that we work on through preseason is everybody brings their individual talents and skills to the table, but how can we work together as a team? And for a lot of the players playing high school soccer, they're playing much different positions than they do for their club teams and their academy programs.
Absolutely. It seems to me like this is a close group, good chemistry out there. Can you talk about the team chemistry?
Yeah, it's really the tone gets set by our captains. Gabby Siri and Riley Kratmaker in the back, Ashley Butler in the midfield, and Ava Perloff. They really set the tone for us as a team. They set it in practice in our training environment, and they do it in the games. I mean, Ava's really emerged as a goal scorer. She was quiet last year, but she's gotten some of that ego or that kick in her step back coming into this year, and netted some nice goals for us. And Ashley Butler just continues to do the things in midfield that go unnoticed by a lot of folks. And she's contributed, I'm just looking real quick, I think she has contributed 6 assists as well as a goal of her own. And at the end of the day, that's a small part of her contribution. She really helps control possession, regain possession in our midfield, which absolutely sets the tone for us.
Absolutely. Now I know this is only your 3rd season as head coach with Hillers.
Yep, 3rd is varsity. Yep.
So you've had some good talented groups during that time frame. Do you think this perhaps could be the most talented group that you've had?
Each team's a little different. I would say this team from a soccer skill perspective is right up there. But it's also quite a diverse team because we have a couple of freshmen, we have a strong sophomore class, we've got some great juniors, and we've got some great leadership on the senior class. So, we're all over the board in terms of ages. I wouldn't say we're an older team, and I wouldn't say we're a newer rebuilding program. But we've got a lot of balance in terms of our spread across the classes. And the soccer skill just continues to get better and better with this group.
And you've had some great goaltending this year, a lot of shutouts throughout the season. Can you talk about your goalkeepers?
Yeah, we had a couple of shutouts through the year, and unfortunately we didn't have either of our goalies in our last start out at Millis. One is out with a knee injury, and the other was out with a severe illness. So luckily we are getting one of them back for today, and we called up Callie Hopkins, who's a freshman who was tending goal for the JV, and she's going to be our backup goalie for the foreseeable future.
Oh, wow. I hope the athlete with the severe illness is doing okay.
Yeah, she's back. She's back. So she was out for a few days. Luckily, it was just a severe cold, but she'll be back. And then Anna's out with a knee injury, and we're waiting a diagnosis, and we hope to get her back in short order as well.
It's time to take a look at our picture of the week. The 2021 Boston Marathon took place this past Monday. It might have been postponed, but it was a great event, and the community was certainly happy to have all the athletes back for the Boston Marathon. A big thank you to Denise Antaki, who took this photo, and you can find a collection of photos from the start line at our sceneinhopkinton.org. Upcoming town government meetings include the Planning Board on Monday, October 18th at 7 p.m., and the Select Board will air live Tuesday, October 19th at 6 p.m. For all the upcoming town government meetings, head over to hopkintonma.gov. Believe it or not, we are out of time for this edition of HCAM News, but don't worry, next Thursday at 6:30 p.m., we'll be back. For everyone at HCAM, I'm Tom Nappy. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon.